Hey there, Diana here from strategicfinances.net. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this piece of information. So my intention is to build as much value as I can in a way that you can understand. So in this presentation, you'll just be hearing my voice, my lovely voice. So this, as you can see here, is the money game. I'm going to talk about the money game, the 4 quarters of life. Now, this is the game you need to win. This is a game. We play a lot of games, right? This is a game, or you play a lot of games. Now, this is a game that you need to win. This is a very important game. So I need to get this knowledge out as it pertains to financial education. So we need to know what it takes to leave an inheritance for our children and so on, right? And if you are one that says that your kids are your why, well, a lot of people say that their kids are their why. You need to know this information, okay? Because it's all about generational wealth. So this is the only game that you need to concern yourself with. I want you to understand this game, right? And how it applies to you, right? So if you know you need to change, but you don't take any action, that's insanity, right? You're doing the same thing year after year and you're expecting different results. So I'm going to educate you on the 4 quarters of life. So if you work a job or you're building a business, you need to understand this game and the rules to the game. So I want to see you win, right? I want to see you win. So I wish I had this information, and I wish I had it and really understood it years ago. But hey, so so here we have, you see here, there's 4 quarters in the game, right? So with 4 quarters in the game, there are increments of time that represent each quarter. So in these quarters, the increments of time are represented by years. So the first quarter is a person that's, as you can see here, it's a person that's working a job from the age of 25 to 35 years old, right? So let me write that in here real quick. 25 to 35 years old. All right, so that's 10 years. And you'll see that each quarter represents 10-year increments. So at this age, most people have a job that, that they're planning on being at for a while, and they're out of college. So most people have started working by this age if they're going to jump into the workforce. And then you have the second quarter, which is from age 35 to 45. Let me write that in. So they're in the second quarter of their life, or their working career. And that's the second 10 years. And then you have the third quarter of your life, which is from age 45 to 35. 45 to 55, right? All right, so just ask yourself where you fall in these 4 quarters. And then lastly, you have the fourth quarter, which is from age 55 to 65. All right, and the reason why I cut it off here is because at age 65, most people are at retirement age, to where they're drawing Social Security, pensions, or investments if they've been doing that the proper way. So as you can see, from age 25 to 65, that's 40 years. 40 years. And most people, work 40 years throughout their life, whether it's different jobs or the same job. Most people will have a 40-year career in some way, shape, or form. So this equates to the 4 quarters of life. Now, after the 4th quarter in most games, okay, so here's a little lesson in sports. So after the 4th quarter in most games, when dealing with sports, you have what's called overtime. So overtime means that it was a tie game and in order to determine a winner, they have to go an extra quarter. It makes me remember, actually, in high school, I was actually in the band and we were at a game. This one particular game, it was how do you say? It was a game between like two I can't say the word, rivalries. It was basically our school against another school that they hadn't played in years, like a long time. It was a really exciting game, like before we even got to the game. But actually that game, I'll never forget, there was it was tied like more than once. I think it was like 2 or 3 times that it was a tie, so they had to, keep going. And I just want to throw that out there. I'll never forget that. But yeah, so that's what happens. After the fourth quarter in most games in sports, you'll have overtime. So like I said, overtime means it was a tie game, and in order to determine a winner, they have to go an extra quarter. All right, but in the money game, what do you think OT stands for? We're down here. So what do you think OT stands for in the money game? Think about it. Okay, so I'll just tell you. So in the money game, OT stands for out of time. Out of time. Let me write that down. Out of time. I'm just gonna write it like that. But yeah, out of time. And the reason why is because there's no overtime or tie games. And it's because most people at the age of 65, they're out of energy, right? They don't have the same drive, momentum, or ambition that they once had, when they thought that their golden years were going to be golden, right? So because of this, they give up and they don't want to do anything because they feel like they've been cheated throughout their life. The reason is because they've been sold the American dream, right? The American dream of, I'm going to work for 40 years and by the time I retire, I'm going to have enough money to live off of for the rest of my life and spend the majority of my days, vacationing and hanging out with my grandkids. They've been sold this dream, but then they realize that this dream was a nightmare, a lie, pretty much. So, they don't have that same ambition, and they're looking back and wondering, what happened, in their life, over those 40 years. So, after the fourth quarter, since there's no overtime, you're out of time. So, but however, depending on where you are, you can still do a lot of things to get to where you need to be. And I love that. There's always hope, always hope. Okay. So, so down here, if you look at the bottom, the fourth quarter, these Qs here. So, like I said, each quarter is about 10 years. So you have 4 quarters, right, equals 40 years. Now, most people who work 40 years earn at least $25,000 per year. Okay, so as you can see here, 40 years times $25,000 equals $1 million, right? So what does that mean? This means that by the time you reach 65, in most cases, and many people earn, let me point this out, many people earn, more than $25,000. But by the time you reach age 65, you've earned $1 million. Some of you are in the third quarter and have had $1 million touch your hands, right? Go through your hands. But the question is, what do you have to show for it, right? Where has that $1 million gone? So I'm going to just break down and show you where you should be, right, in each quarter as this money is passing through your hands. And know that most people have earned well over $25,000 in their working career after 40 years, to the point where that number is a lot higher than $1 million. But in each quarter, you should have a certain amount of money working for you. In the second quarter, well, let's do it like this. Okay, let's go ahead and go through this really quickly. I'm just going to break it down. All right, so we're in the first quarter here. So, okay, let's see. Okay, so if you're earning $25,000 for 10 years, right, that's $250,000 in the first quarter. So if you save 10% of that, and had it working for you, or invested, or just working for you, at least just saved, you would have $25,000. So I'm gonna write that down. You would have at least $25,000. Bear with me here. And hey, write this down. Take notes. Write this down. This is really important if you're serious about, changing your current situation, right? So, $25,000 at least saved, right? Just by you earning $250,000, you should have $25,000, which is 10%, working in your favor, okay? So each quarter you should have a certain amount of money working for you, right? And now we go to the second quarter. By then you've earned $500,000, so you should have at least $50,000 working for you, right? Write that down. I'm typing with one hand. I have my baby here. I'm a mom. He's sleeping. It's my opportunity to make this video. So yeah, $50,000. You should have that working for you, right? So ask yourself, if you're between the ages of 25 to 35, do you have at least $25,000 saved or working for you in some form of an investment or some type of portfolio income? If not, then it's time to play catch up. If you're in the second quarter, ages 35 to 45, do you have at least $50,000 working for you in some form of investment, savings, or something, right, during that time frame? So if that's not where you are, you still have time, but you definitely need to play catch up. So you want to have this money working for you, because it's going to take a lot more than what you're currently living off of now to take care of and fund your retirement. So moving forward, we have in the third quarter, right? By then you've earned at least $750,000. So you want to have at least $75,000 working for you. Let me write that in there. Type that in there. $75,000 working for you. And the reason why I keep saying, working for you, is because you don't want to have that money just sitting still, like just sitting in a bank account or a checking account. You want to have that money somewhere gaining interest, to where it's paying you in the form of dividends or has the ability to grow. Then it has the ability to fund your retirement, right? Social Security and pensions. I was just reading about this in a book. Social Security and pensions are just supplements to your income, right? When you reach those golden years, right? It's just a supplement. But if you're investing your money throughout your process of going through this money game, then you can have money working for you, right? That can offset whatever Social Security may be lacking or your pensions may be lacking, right? For a lot of people, it's not a whole lot. Not enough at all. or your investments may supersede your Social Security and your pension altogether, right? Which is the ultimate goal. And moving forward, we have now in the fourth quarter, you definitely, you want to definitely have over $100,000 working for you in some type of investment account, right? Let me write that in there, $100,000. Bear with me. Uh-oh. Okay. So ask yourself. Okay, ask yourself this question. All right. Where do you fall, right? Just ask, where do I fall, right? What quarter am I in? Right? Am I on track? Right? And if you're not on track, no problem, right? Let's get on track. And that all starts with education, right? Feeding your mind and understanding where you are, right? But if you don't understand where you are, then you'll never know where you're headed, right? So I just, let's use a GPS for an example, right? That's kind of like what I'm doing here. I'm giving you a GPS for you to get to where you want to be, right? Whatever your goals are. So, just like a GPS in your car, in your vehicle, you have to put in your current location in order for them to determine how far, and how long it'll take for you to arrive at your destination. Okay, so this is your current location, wherever your current quadrant is based on your age. All right, so ask yourself, what am I going to do to win in this money game, right? Don't work for 40 years and have nothing to show for it, right? There are people, who retire and they go back out and get a retirement job, right? So the time is now for you to start thinking about your future, no matter how young you are, I should say. Because a lot of people who are younger or in the first quadrant think that they don't have to plan for retirement now. Yeah, you do. Right? But at least, get your kids on a game plan, right? So that, they can be prepared for their future, right? And they can retire comfortably and be able to enjoy those years and understand the rules of the game. And if you don't understand the rules of the game, then you lose by default. It's just true, right? So these are the 4 quarters of life, and it ties into the money game that we are playing. So, just stop being distracted by whatever it is that's distracting you, right? And see where you fit in these 4 quarters of life, right? And, once you determine where you fit, at least you have something to strive for, right? This way you put yourself in position to enjoy the fruits of your labor, right? Now, before I wrap this up, I want you to understand that retirement is not based on age, right? We've been sold that lie, right? That retirement is based on age, but it's not. Retirement is based on money. And what that means is if you get your finances in place to where, you get your money growing, you have some assets accumulating, you have passive income. I didn't know what passive income was, but that's, just money coming in without you punching the clock, basically, right? Now, when you understand that, you can retire when you want to retire, right? There are people who retire earlier than in the 4th quarter, right? There are people who retire in the first, people who retired in the 1st quarter, 2nd quarter, 3rd quarter, right? You can do the same, but you need to understand that retirement is not based on age. It's based on money. So determine the dollar amount that you need to live off of, right? And you can say, okay, I'm not going to retire when I'm 60, right? But you can set that standard for yourself And then at age 65, the money that you've accumulated is just bonus money or fun money or give money, right? Because you retired, way before that age that quote unquote they say that you should retire. So not only did I give you, so I'm wrapping this up. So not only did I give you an understanding of the 4 quarters of life and how the money game works and how you need to position yourself to win, I also offer solutions. I always say that. I offer solutions that teach you how you can win in this game no matter where you are. So it all starts with having a strategy, a game plan. And it starts with you connecting with the right people who can help you take some form of action, right? So nothing happens until you take some action. And, I want you to take some action. But just ask yourself, what quarter are you in? And what are you going to do, right? What are you going to do to win the game, right? How do you plan to win, right? So I have a solution for you to help you get in position to win in this money game. So, why not retire early if that's something that you want to do? A lot of people want to, right? So, and if you're already in the 4th quarter, at least you can start putting some things in place that can supplement the income that you'll earn when you retire. But are you ready to win, before you're out of time, right? And remember, in this money game, the OT, right, down here, the OT stands for out of time, right? Because there is no overtime. Okay, so, are you ready to win, right? And if you're ready to win, just let me know in the comments. Just type winning, right? Type winning, WINNING. Just type it in the comments if you're ready to win before you're out of time. We need to work on your game plan. So figure out where you are as far as debt, investments, and let's come up with a game plan to help you accomplish what you want to accomplish. So, I recommend a strategy that teaches people how to shift their income from negative cash flow to positive cash flow. And it's working for people all across the nation, and it could definitely work for you. And, our income shifting strategy encompasses things like, increasing your cash flow from the money that you're already earning on your job, right? You don't have to go out and get a second job. With that extra cash flow, you'll be able to get out of debt faster, right? Better your credit, save more money, and invest your way to wealth, which puts you in the position of conquering that 25,000, like we discussed, 25,000, 50,000, 75,000, 100,000. And have that money working for you a lot sooner than if you try to do it all by yourself. So, I have a strategy that I recommend, but you want to look at what's currently going on with your money, like where you at, right? And you want to look at how you can increase your cash flow and how you can have multiple streams of income, right? And again, I don't mean going and get a second job. I'm talking about streams of income so that you can play catch up, right? So find out where you are and what you're willing to do. And this might entail going above and beyond and going hard for a certain amount of years so that you can live like no one else, right? During your golden years. So that's all I got for you today. So just simply comment below winning, right? To learn more about income shifting, or just inbox me, right? And if you have my phone number, then just shoot me a text. All right, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you on the next video.